The Journey is inspired, of course, by the jazz musician Barry Stofberg, his latest album called The Journey. And so Craig is chatting to us this evening. Craig, good afternoon, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mpumzi, and good afternoon to your listeners. Good to be here.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have you here. I know you in my other life, and so to sit here like this is, I'm getting a lot of excitement, if I must just say. Yeah. So let's talk. You are a fundraiser for a walk and an event that's upcoming, inspired by Barry Stofberg's latest album, and probably his last album, called The Journey.
Correct.
Yeah, so maybe let's, for the benefit of the listener at home, just introduce yourself and what is it that you do in this thing called The Journey?
Yes, my name is Craig Null, and basically I've met Barry many years ago. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I turned 48 just a few days ago. And last month I thought, I want to do something meaningful for someone. Mm-hmm. And I thought of him, and I said, listen, my friend, he suffers of a disease called ALS, mm-hmm. which basically means his body will stop functioning at some point, at least within 2 years. Mm-hmm. So what can I do? Can I raise funds for you, for medication? He says, no, Craig, my dream is basically to get Cape Town musicians to play on my recently released album, and if you can make that happen, I'll be happy, and I could leave a legacy. And that's how it started. Sure. I decided to do something crazy, and I decided to walk 480 kilometers from the 1st till the 31st of October. So I'm sitting in studio in a lot of pain, my friend, but it's a way to identify with Barry as well.
Yeah, sure. So the ALS disease, I actually read up on it. It's quite a difficult word to pronounce, so I think all of us will just have to accept that it's ALS. It's actually amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Well done.
Yeah, so it's a tongue twister. I spent most of my time in the evening last night just rehearsing how to pronounce this name. But basically, as Craig has explained, that it's basically a deterioration of the muscles. The brain is basically not sending information, but it's not getting to the muscles. And so and just a backstory, Craig, you did not just wake up and decide to do something good for Barry. You know him as a childhood friend.
Yes.
You guys grew up at the Full Gospel, right?
No.
Baptist. Which one is it?
Oh my, Baptist friends are not going to be happy with that. No, I grew up in, I was born in Full Gospel, but I ended up in Westridge, Mitchell's Plain, at the Westridge Baptist Church. So that's where I met Barry. I think we were 10, 11, 12 years old. And he just had this amazing talent. And people found him quite interesting because we used to go in camps and this guy would play keyboard on a brick or something. So, and little did we know he was so talented. And he moved around. He played with all the musicians that will be playing on the album, and then he left for America, I think 15 years ago.
Sure.
And up until this year, he was a full-time musician.
Sure. And you said something to me off air about his acceptance of the illness and how at peace he is. Just maybe share with the listeners what is his message, about after finding out that he's got the disease and also seeing a change in his body and even in his speech. What is his message?
First of all, he's a believer, and I've not met someone with that level of faith. Yeah. Despite knowing that the end is near for him. He's got a peace, Mpumzi, that I haven't seen in someone. So this guy he's really demonstrated to me personally what being a Christian is. It's not about talk. I mean, this guy is still traveling America, unable to use his hands at the moment. And as a keyboardist, that's his livelihood.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's still preaching the word of God. He's still talking about peace. He's talking about this love. And his wife, Karen, is an amazing example of support. I mean, so it's just been, how can that not inspire you to do something crazy as I am doing? And so this is quite an interesting thing for me and humbling, I must say.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at the story itself. And the intriguing thing for me, which I think led to this interview, is not just the album, but is how Barry is able, at almost at the end of his life, to still give to other people, to still think about other people. I mean, we're talking about musicians now that are going to be playing at his album. There's definitely a benefit for them. They're not only just on playing, but there's exposure. I mean, he's in America. The album's going to be played everywhere. That's exposure number one. But also there's an immediate benefit. And maybe tell us about that.
Yes, so Mpumzi, so the money I'm raising at the moment while I'm walking is going towards, excuse me, them actually recording. So they're not playing for free.
Yeah.
And I must tell you, each and every musician that we approached said they want to play free.
Wow.
So I said, no, my friends,
Sure.
this is, you've just come through this COVID situation, and yet you still want to give back. So I really admire these musicians, but Mpumzi, it's for me, it's just the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So the money goes towards them for recording on particular days next month, and then also towards the recording, the process, the engineering process, and then the distribution afterwards. So they will be benefiting directly as well. So, and even the other opportunity now, we've used these musicians now to have a fundraiser on the 31st. That's the Cape Town Summer Jazz Festival. So that was born out of this.
Sure.
We weren't raising enough money, and then we just got a few volunteers together, and here we go. We've got a jazz festival happening, a benefit concert for Barry, but we're also celebrating these musicians. And as you know, there's a lot of great musicians that came out of Cape Town but died as paupers. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of also the message. I'm using this platform as well to let people realize that they need to, give back to these musicians as well. So I'm really proud of these musicians.
No, this is inspiring, Craig, I must say. And I think, a listener at home is thinking, why are we talking about jazz in a Christian radio station? First of all, Barry is one of us. He's a Christian. He's born again, as you can hear from his story. And you can also hear that at the end of his life, he's still preaching the gospel. And that is how he's impacting people in a language that people understand. And so that's why we celebrate him. And also, the other thing that we are celebrating is health. Part of this interview is to talk about, not only what you're doing for the album and making sure that people, the musician gets to play on the album, but also the other benefit is that, their skill is exposed and they get something out of it coming from COVID, as you just correctly said. And the other benefit is maybe you may not seeing it or feeling it now, but there's a health benefit to the walking you're doing. Take us through what is a normal day, since normal being from the first up until the end of the month looking like for you? You wake up at what time? What time do you start?
I'm up
How's your day?
in the morning about 4:15 in the morning. To save time, I sleep with my walking clothes, and then just to save time, and then I'm and at 4:30, because I have to do 20 kilometers a day, so I walk fairly slowly just to conserve my energy. So I do it within 2 hours. So I have to from 4:30 till 6:30, and then I must travel to work. And then in the evening at 5:30, it's another 2 hours, and then I'm finished. I'm broken. So, so it's quite interesting. That's the routine. And now for the next 12 days in Mpumzi, I need to do 23 kilometers a day. Because I've lost a few, and now people like you apparently want to bet against me for not completing it.
Of course, and we're gonna.
And I can't believe you're working on a Christian radio station. That's unacceptable.
I'm actually praying that you don't make it. But look at the reality is okay. In fact, I don't want to before we get to the serious and also sharing the information with the listeners of how they can be part of this. I mean, I want to say on the health benefit of this. Yesterday, you invited people on the page on the journey to come join you. In fact, not yesterday, a couple of weeks ago, and you put a date, the 17th. You asked people to come join you at the Rondebosch Common to walk a 10K with you. I was one of the people that put my hand up, and I joined yesterday. And a lot of people actually volunteered and said, look, I can't come, but here's a donation to say, let the project go on, regardless of me not being able to physically be there. And we joined. I mean, it was quite a nice walk. I slept, I slept like a child, I must say. I mean, I struggled to sleep. My wife will tell you. I struggled to fall asleep. I get to bed and I spend hours before I get knocked off. And I woke up. I'm still not feeling it yet. And you did say it's going to come
2 days
on Monday. Yes. But there's a benefit right there, and let's talk about that. How has walking changed your life, if anything? Are you feeling any different? When you wake up, of course now you're tired from the walking and everything, but are you seeing a difference in terms of your health? Is there a long-term benefit? How do you encourage people to join you on this?
20 years ago, I've completed 5 Comrades marathons, and so I've always done extreme sports, but as a result, I damaged my knees. And I couldn't take up any sport. So if you saw me, I think you met me last year, November, I'm now 14 kilos lighter. So I'm fitter, I'm stronger than I've ever been. And it changes your lifestyle, it changes your eating pattern. But the benefit of this sport, Mpumzi, is that anybody can do it. I mean, you've done it yesterday. You've experienced how difficult 2.5 kilometers is. and I do that. I do 20 a
A
day.
day.
The difference here, Mpumzi, is also it has helped me spiritually because I'm alone 4 hours a day. So
Sure.
you have to connect with something.
Yeah.
You have to connect with someone.
Yeah.
And that connection has humbled me at a level, and I've really connected on a different level that I never thought I would. You know what I mean? So that's been the major benefit for me. It's a spiritual benefit, and I think you also get to meditate because you are quiet.
Yeah.
And but yesterday was amazing having you and your family there. My mom was there. My sister walked with us
Yeah.
while she was in Boynton, Florida, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And she did 10 kilometers or 6 miles. So just the benefit is amazing. And I want to encourage any of the listeners for the remainder of the month, just walk 20 minutes. Just walk 20 minutes. And also, I mean, my son walked 5 kilometers with me, and it's that was amazing. It's the easiest way to lose weight if you want to lose weight, but it's the mental thing that I think that I'm after, and the spiritual benefit by just being quiet and listening for a change.
Sure. Let's talk about the. In fact, let's do this quick. Let's take just a bit of a listen on the music of Barry Stolfberg, and this is just instruments. You'll enjoy this, and also maybe it's a sneak peek into what the 31st will bring on the day.
Awesome.